This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're coming on the air at this hour because President Biden is about to address the updated guidance just in on masks in America in this pandemic. There you see the president, the north lawn of the White House. This is another new chapter, another step in the right direction as we try to get back to a sense of normalcy in this country. Just a short time ago, the CDC relaxing the guidelines for fully vaccinated Americans when it comes to wearing masks outdoors, saying those who are fully vaccinated don't need to mask up to walk, run, bike outside, or to be with your families for small gatherings. Let's listen to the president.
Good afternoon. This beautiful afternoon. Next week, I'll be laying out the path ahead to continue our fight against COVID-19 to get us to July 4th. This is our target date to get life in America closer to normal and begin to celebrate our independence from the virus together with our friends and our loved ones as we celebrate Independence Day. But before that, I wanted to speak briefly to all of you today about the recent change announced by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. Let me say first, while we still have a long way to go in this fight and a lot of work to do in May and June to get us to July 4th, we've made stunning progress because of all of you, the American people. Cases and deaths are down dramatically from where they were when I took office on January 20th, and continuing to fall. This is particularly true for a group of Americans that we were most worried about when it came to the virus, senior citizens. When I took office in January, we were losing literally tens of thousands of our seniors each week. Grandparents who were loved so dearly, moms and dads, pillars of every community, gone by the thousands every day. At that time, less than 1% of seniors were fully vaccinated when I took office. Today, in less than 100 days, more than 67%, 2/3 of our seniors are now fully vaccinated. And more than 80% of our seniors have had at least one shot. That effort has resulted in a drop of 80% in deaths among American seniors, a 70% drop in hospitalizations. So instead of losing thousands of seniors each day, we're saving thousands of lives, and more as each day goes by. And by the way, based on reported data, the proportion of seniors who've been vaccinated is essentially equal between white and seniors of color. I said from the beginning that we're going to fight this virus with equity for all. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, there are more Latinos and African American seniors that have been vaccinated as a percentage than white seniors. These numbers are a sign of progress on that front as well. Now, last week, I announced that we had crossed the threshold of 200 million shots. We've now, since Inauguration Day, we have given 215 million shots. And that anyone 16 years of age or older is now eligible to get the vaccine now, today, immediately. And because of the extraordinary progress we've made in fighting this virus, and the progress our scientists have made in learning about how it gets transmitted, earlier today, the CDC made an important announcement. Starting today, if you're fully vaccinated and you're outdoors, you need, and not in a big crowd, you no longer need to wear a mask. I want to be absolutely clear. If you're in a crowd, like a stadium or at a conference or a concert, you still need to wear a mask, even if you're outside. But beginning today, gathering with a group of friends in a park, going for a picnic, as long as you are vaccinated and outdoors, you can do it without a mask. The CDC is able to make this announcement because our scientists are convinced by the data that the odds of getting or giving the virus to others is very, very low if you're both been fully vaccinated and out in the open air. The CDC also helped clarify which outdoor activities are safer or less safe, depending on whether you've been vaccinated. The bottom line is clear. If you're vaccinated, you can do more things more safely, both outdoors as well as indoors. So for those who haven't gotten their vaccination yet, especially if you're younger or think you don't need it, this is another great reason to go get vaccinated. Now. Yes, the vaccines are about saving your life, but also the lives of the people around you. But they're also about helping you get back to closer to normal in our living, more normal living. Getting together with friends, going to the park for a picnic without needing to mask up. We're back to that place now as long as you get vaccinated. So go get the shot. It's never been easier. And once you're fully vaccinated, you can go without a mask when you're outside and away from big crowds. I want to thank the team at the CDC for everything they're doing to help us lead with science and bring our communities out of this crisis safely and responsibly. And I also want to thank everyone who's gotten the vaccine for doing your patriotic duty and helping us get on the path to Independence Day, which I'll be discussing more in detail next week. In the meantime, I urge all Americans, don't let up now. Keep following the guidance. Go get your vaccination now. It's free and it's convenient. 90% of the American people live within 5 miles of a site where you can get a vaccination. You can do this, and we will do this. Thank you all, and God bless you. And as much as the temptation is to stay outdoors in this beautiful day, I've got more work to do. Thank you all very, very much. Bye-bye.
President, if the risk is so low outdoors, why doesn't it apply to everybody?
Wait, would you have any preconditions before meeting with Vladimir Putin?
One at a time.
If the risk is so low outdoors, why doesn't this new guidance apply to everybody?
Because the science indicates that the most certain way to make sure it doesn't spread if both people have been vaccinated, the people you're with, and you're outside.
And you chose to wear a mask, sir. You chose to wear a mask. You chose to wear a mask as you walked out here. What message were you sending by wearing a mask outside alone?
By watching me take it off and not put it back on until I get inside.
Do you have any preconditions before meeting with Vladimir Putin?
I'll discuss that all another day. Thank you.
What did you ask Vice President Harris to
India
do?
needs AstraZeneca. Will you make it faster for them to get the vaccines we will get soon? India, they're suffering at this moment.
What do you say to the folks in
Will you
India?
make
Look,
it?
I'm sorry, this is the last question I'll take, and I'm really going to be in trouble. With regard to India, I spoke at length with Modi, the Prime Minister. We are sending immediately a whole series of help that he needs, including providing for those remdesivir and other drugs that are able to deal with this and prevent, in some cases, but help recovery. Secondly, we are sending the actual mechanical parts that are needed for the machinery they have to build a vaccine, and that's being done as well. We're also I've discussed with him when we'll be able to send actual vaccines to India, which will be my intention to do. The problem is right now we have to make sure we have other vaccines like Novavax and others coming on probably. And I think we'll be in a position to be able to share vaccines as well as know-how with other countries who are in real need. That's the hope and expectation. And I might add, when we were in a bind at the very beginning, India helped us. Thank you.
What have you asked the
There you have it,
Vice
President
to help
Biden
with
on the
vaccines
north lawn of the White House, not wearing the mask as he walks back to the West Wing, and he made a point answering a reporter's question there that the reason he wore a mask on the way out was to announce this updated guidance and then to show that he would not be putting it back on until he re-enters the White House. He said he has other work to do, which is somewhat reassuring to hear from the President of the United States, that he has to get back to work now. But reinforcing the updated guidance from the CDC just a short time ago, saying starting today, fully vaccinated Americans can go outdoors without a mask, to bike, to run, to gather with family or small gatherings. He did say large gatherings, baseball games, concerts, that vaccinated people should still wear masks. And he used this moment, Dr. Jen Ashton, to make a case to the remainder of Americans out there who haven't been vaccinated yet. He talked about in most parts of the country that you can find a vaccination free within 5 miles of where you live.
Exactly, David. And what we saw is him really delineate two critical elements here. Fully vaccinated, meaning 2 doses of the Pfizer and Moderna or the single dose of Johnson & Johnson, versus unvaccinated or incompletely vaccinated people, and environment. Are you indoors or are you outdoors? And if you look at this in terms of what's behind it, it really comes down to 3 things. The vaccination metrics, so as we're seeing cases, hospitalizations, and deaths decline in certain parts of the country due to the vaccine. Aerosol science, what we know about how this virus behaves, that outdoor environments much safer, much lower risk than certain indoor environments, and then the psychology. He has clearly said this is our way out. He is very sensitive, as is the CDC, to the fact that people are tired, they're frustrated, they're sick of the masks, and you can't treat a patient from the neck down. You have to address the spirit. And I think if you look at this country as one big patient, that's what you're seeing here. Attention to the fact that psychological fatigue is a real issue here. And this is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no question about that, Jenny. Talked about the exhaustion. We see it, among our colleagues as we've been reporting on this. And he went back to that July 4th date and that metaphor, independence from the virus, saying, hopefully people who are unvaccinated will see the freedoms that are coming along with getting vaccinated, and that it will, in a sense, get them to follow suit.
Exactly, and I think that is important. You can't inspire and motivate and encourage people to get vaccinated or to do anything in public health without some big carrot there, some incentive. And that July 4th date, I wrote down the same thing, independence from the virus. And I want to also be clear, the recommendations from the CDC to keep wearing masks continue to reflect the risk to other people. This is where we have to be selfless. It's an unknown risk of transmission. Even when we have been vaccinated, we think that risk is lower, but that is why they're continuing to say, keep that mask on. It's not for the vaccinated person or even the unvaccinated person. It's to prevent transmission to others and protect those around us.
Because the science simply isn't there. We just don't know yet whether or not, even if we're vaccinated, if we can carry it and give it to others. Jen, thanks for watching the president here with us today. Let's get to Mary Bruce, our senior White House correspondent. Mary, we took note that the president was there on the North Lawn, not far from where you're standing, which is rare. I don't think I ever remember seeing a president out there making a statement that he was leaving the West Wing and taking off his mask and leaving it off.
Yeah, a bit of an unusual location here at the White House, but the president trying to take advantage of the nice weather here in Washington, and also once again using himself to set an example. This was a chance for the president to tout the progress that his administration has made in fighting this pandemic. And it was a rare sight to see the president make that walk back to the White House without a mask. The president, throughout the 98 days he's been in office, and of course during the campaign, has made the argument that masking is not a political statement, but a patriotic one. He has tried to wrestle politics away from masking, using himself as an example first and foremost. And of course, David, the overarching message here from the White House is that the easing of these restrictions, they're trying to use this as a way to incentivize and encourage Americans to go out and get vaccinated. You heard the president arguing, if you do go get that shot, you can return to a more normal life. The president saying you can do more things, you can do more things safely. So the president is trying to use this moment to say they are on the cusp of a return to normalcy. Get that shot so that you can participate.
Mary Bruce, right there on the North Lawn of the White House as well. Mary, thank you. And just to reiterate, President Biden moments ago also speaking to this updated guidance from the CDC today, saying that if you are fully vaccinated in this country, you can now go outdoors without a mask, bike, run, an activity with your family, small gatherings. It did say you should still wear a mask if you're at a concert or one of those large gatherings, but certainly the next chapter as he tries to get this country back to normal. And as Mary just said there, he thanked Americans for their patriotic duty in getting a vaccination to not only protect themselves, but to really, as Jen mentioned, to protect our neighbors. We simply do not know if we can still get it and give it, even if we're vaccinated. So our coverage of this will continue on ABC News Live, abcnews.com, and of course, I'll be back with the entire team a little later today for World News Tonight. I'm David Muir in New York. Have a good day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.